Good evening and welcome to GCMX News coming to you live from our studio at GCMX Africa, Kano, Nigeria. Today, Monday, being the 16th February 2026, which is equivalent to 28 Shaban 1447 after Hijrah. I am Hamza Douda Adamu with the news. First, the news headlines. The federal government has sent a delegation to Kano to assess the impact of Singa market fire disaster. The government of Katsina State will establish its own independent electricity supply. The government of Zamfara State will take measures to curb the use of illegal drugs. And in the foreign scene, Israel has demanded the removal of uranium materials ahead of talks with Iran. And now the news in details. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has expressed deep sympathy to traders and residents of Kano State following the devastating fire outbreak at the popular Singa market over the weekend. The president described the incident as tragic and called for a comprehensive investigation into the cause of the inferno. The fire, which reportedly began on Saturday evening at a large household goods store popularly known as Gidan Glass Store, quickly spread to Gidan Gashash, which is part of the busy market located in Kano metropolis. However, goods worth billions of naira were said to have been destroyed while firefighters worked tirelessly to contain the flames. In a statement issued by presidential spokesperson Bayo Onanuga, the president revealed that he had earlier contacted Abba Kabir Yusuf to obtain first-hand information about the situation. Therefore, President Tinubu expressed concern that the latest incident occurred less than 2 weeks after another fire had destroyed dozens of shops and properties within the same market. The president has now directed relevant authorities to conduct a thorough investigation into the recurring market fires, stressing the need to identify the root causes and implement preventive measures to protect traders from future losses. Meanwhile, he reassured affected victims of the federal government's concern and solidarity during these difficult times. In a show of solidarity from the federal government, Kashim Shettima led a high-powered delegation to Kano following the fire outbreak at the popular Singa market, which left traders counting losses estimated in billions of naira. The visit followed the directive of Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the vice president departed Abuja to deliver a message of condolence and sympathy to those affected by the disaster. This marks the second fire incident at the market within just 2 weeks, raising serious concern among traders and residents of the area. However, the fire, which broke out on Saturday evening and continued into Sunday, raised several sections of the glass house at the Singa markets, Kano's major market, destroying shops, food items, and other valuable within a short time. The incident has further deepened anxiety among traders, especially at a time when many are already grappling with economic hardship. Therefore, President Tinubu has also held a telephone conversation with the governor of Kano State, Abba Kabir Yusuf, shortly after the incident, which he expressed deep concern over the scale of destruction and the recurring fire outbreak at the market. The president assured that the federal government will provide full support to ease the pains of the losses and take necessary measures to prevent a recurring in the future. Katsina State government has announced plans to withdraw from the Kano Electricity Distributing Company KETCO as part of effort to establish an independent power supply system across all local government areas and community in the state. The special advisor to Governor Diko Umar Radda on power and energy, Dr. Hafiz Ibrahim, disclosed that the move is aimed at reducing electricity costs and addressing persistent power shortages. According to the advisor, a comprehensive energy audit revealed that many parts of Katsina suffer from severe electricity deficits, leaving millions of residents without reliable access to power. However, he described the situation as a major obstacle to economic growth and emphasized the government's commitment to completely transforming the state's energy sector. Therefore, Dr. Hafiz explained that the state's energy strategy focuses largely on renewable sources, which he noted that the Katsina has partnered with equipment manufacturer in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia to procure 200 distribution units. Meanwhile, he also revealed that the installation of a 20.1 megawatt solar power system in 11 public institutions has reduced electricity costs in major government facilities by 93% over the past 2 years, which the state requires about 70 megawatts to achieve adequate electricity coverage, with nearly 30 megawatts already installed. While the government hopes to complete the remaining installation by next year and extend the full electricity supply to all 361 electoral wards, it has not yet provided a clear timeline or detailed the legal steps for its planned exit from KEDCO. You are still watching to GCMX News Africa. Stay tuned as we come back shortly. Welcome back. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has announced that it has begun consultation with the key stakeholders to address concerns surrounding the 2027 election timetable it recently released, which indicates that the elections may be held during the month of Ramadan. The Commission assured Nigerians that it remained committed to considering the interests and sensitivities of all segments of society in planning its activities. INEC emphasized its determination to conduct free, fair, and credible elections while taking public concern into account. According to the schedules, the Presidential and National Assembly election are set to take place on February 20, 2027, while the Governorship and State House of Assembly election will be held on February 6, 2027. However, the announcement has generated widespread reactions, particularly among Muslims, who express concern that the date may coincide with the Ramadan fast in 2027. Therefore, critics argue that holding election during the fasting period could pose challenges for voters and election officials. INEC stated that ongoing consultations will guide any decision aimed at ensuring inclusivity and national cohesion. The Zamfara state government has launched a multi-agency effort to curb the illegal and indiscriminate sale of medicines, warning that the practice fuels fake drugs, treatment failures, and avoidable deaths. The initiative was announced by the Commissioner for Health, Dr. Nafisa Muhammad Maradun, at a review meeting bringing together security agencies, regulators, professional bodies, and development partners to develop an enforcement roadmap. Dr. Maradun, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary Malam Bashir Sirajo, also NIP's Ambassador of Integrity and Leadership, said the widespread hawking of medicine in streets, markets, and motor parks poses a severe and growing threat to public health and security. However, noted links to antimicrobial resistance and broader criminal networks. Therefore, she said the State Security Council has mandated the Ministry of Health to coordinate all relevant agencies to deliver a clear, actionable, and sustainable plan. The Commissioner further said the roadmap will strengthen coordination and accountability across agencies. Maradun emphasized that while the Department of Pharmaceutical Services has statutory oversight of pharmaceutical outlets and patient medicine vendors, the scale of the problem requires robust interagency collaboration, including inspection, arrest, and prosecution where necessary. And now we move to the foreign scene. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has called for the complete removal of all enriched uranium produced by Iran as part of any renewed nuclear agreement with the country. Netanyahu made the statement as Iran's Foreign Minister Hussein Amir Abdullahian headed to Switzerland for direct talk with the United States on Tuesday. However, the discussions are expected to involve the former U.S. President Donald Trump's special envoy, Steve Witkoff, as well as his son-in-law, Jared Kushner. Earlier, Iran's deputy foreign minister stated that Tehran will be willing to show flexibility in its nuclear program if the sanctions imposed on the country are lifted. Meanwhile, the renewed diplomatic engagement comes amid ongoing efforts to ease tensions surrounding Iran's nuclear activities. To end the news, a recap of the major item. You have heard that the federal government has sent a delegation to Kano to assess the impact of Singa Market fire disaster. You also heard that the government of Katsina State will establish its own independent electricity supply. Also, you heard that the government of Zamfara State will take measures to curb the use of illegal drugs. And in the foreign scene, you heard that Israel has demanded the removal of uranium materials ahead of talks with Iran. This news comes to you live from our studio at GCMX Africa, Kano, Nigeria. You can also follow us through our social media handles at GCMX Africa or through our streaming platform or Radio Garden at GCMX Africa. Once again, I'm Hamza Dauda Adamu, saying goodbye for now.